Today's workshop today, we will be discussing our pathway to home ownership with USDA. So what this is, I've created an opportunity for individuals to get in a comfortable setting and ask questions about home ownership. We have home ownership coming up, and so our goal is to talk about home ownership in June, having some programs, giving people understanding of what it is that we have available or what's out there in the home ownership realm. Um, Today we'll be talking about with home ownership with USDA. So basically, this is a guide with our USDA Section 502 program, your roadmap for renting or owning, or renting to owning. And so what we're wanting to do is highlight the reason why you can certainly get interested or get involved in the USDA program. It's a great opportunity for individuals who are either in a low to very low income household and wanting to get into home ownership. Um, we'll go about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on if we have questions or not, but feel free to ask in the chat if you have any questions. So we'll get started. So our USDA 502 program, what that is, think of it as your special home loan that's designed for people with lower incomes who want to buy in rural areas. So 502 USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, they have giving people the opportunity to not only buy homes, but buy them and grow the area in which they're at, right? So it's a government-backed mortgage loan for low and very low income buyers who want to purchase, build, or fix up a home in a rural area. So if you don't stay in a rural area, the 502 program may not be eligible for you. However, there are some pockets in Harris County, there are rural areas in which you'll be qualified. The United States government runs it. It's a United States run mortgage loan, and USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, it comes out of their office. They lend the money directly to you, and there's no traditional bank required. So you're using USDA funds versus someone like Chase or someone like Credit Union or anything like that. And why is it such a big deal? Well, one of the main reasons why we continue to push it is because the big deal is you get payment assistance and your interest rate can drop as low as 1%. So that means that you may take out a loan on a home, or you may take out a loan to buy a home or to purchase a home, to build a home, and that loan may be anywhere between $150,000 to $400,000. Well, you only have to pay 1% interest back on that. Most banks have you paying about 6 to 7% interest on those loans. And so again, those rural areas, they're in generally communities with fewer than 35,000 people. Many suburban areas qualify as well. So I know for sure this program, we're going to do it in Hockley again. There's certain areas in Hockley that qualify. There's certain areas in Cypress. There's certain areas in Harris County, but it's very limited. But nonetheless, certain suburbs may qualify. So you got to check the USDA map, and I can provide that as well. Um, so basically, by the numbers, you want to know typically the USDA loan is not like your FHA loan. FHA loans are still made by private banks, whereas the USDA loan is a government, um, and the government insures these loans. The 502 direct program, USDA writes the check. All right. And so by the numbers, when I mentioned that 1% is the floor rate. So it is the lowest that it can get. All right. So lowest possible interest rate with payment assistance. A typical mortgage at 6% on a $150,000 home, that's going to cost you about $950 a month. USDA, you get assistance, dropping your rate to 1%. That same house could be under $500. So again, this doesn't necessarily have to be your everyday home. I'm sorry, your forever home. It could be a starter home. But this option allows families to save hundreds of dollars throughout the year. And so most banks, they give you a around 30-year term, where with this USDA loan, this can give you 38 years, which means the maximum loan term of your loan that you're taking out. So it'll take you 38 years to pay it off. And so that's for very low income buyers. All right. And that is the longer term. The longer the term is, the more reduced your monthly payment is. All right. So this loan sometimes can be for 100% of the appraised value. If the home appraises for more than the purchase price, the gap can even be covered by the closing costs. And so sometimes you may go into a position and it is zero down required in a lot of these cases, meaning you don't have to put any money down if you get approved. And currently, right now, as of May 26th, the current base interest rate is 5%. So while it's not 1%, your average or your typical bank is about 6 to 7%. This one is still cheaper than your average payback for the loan. So that 5% interest rate is fairly good when you look at and you compare it to other loans that are out there. So most people want to know if they qualify or not, right? So income limits vary by county and household. Your household income is below the county limit. So whatever county you're staying in, I know we're in Harris County, so your household income has to be between 50 and 80% of the area medium household income. So this you also qualify if you want to buy, build, or fix a home up in a rural or suburban area. So this goes to say, you know what? I found space. I want to build on that space. I want to build my house from scratch. You could get approved for this if it's in a rural area. And again, this doesn't have to be your forever home, or it could very well be your forever home. We know that some areas may cost more. So on credit, USDA doesn't require a minimum credit score for the 502 direct program, the way some banks typically do. They look at your overall credit history, whether you paid your bills on time consistently and not just the actual number. And then sometimes there are people who never had credit cards but always paid their rent on time. They can still qualify. So you also need to know maybe if you are a U.S. citizen or eligible non-citizen and you have a reasonable credit history. Again, there's no perfect score required. So you get in some places and they have a credit score of 520, 580. It's not the only thing that's going to stop you or approve you for getting into this program. And the home is a modest. It's not a luxury property. It's not your property, like I said, that's going to be in your forever home. This is your starter home. This is something that you want to get into for starters to learn how to manage a home. You want to get in a habit of being able to manage into a home. So you may not qualify if your income is above the county income limits. If the property is in an urban area, so if you're trying to move in the high rises downtown, this is not that program that you would qualify. Or you can't show your ability to repay the loan. So you do have to have a job, but if you can't show that you can pay back this loan at 1% or at 5% in between, then you may not be able to be qualified. But your home value exceeds the area loan limit, right? And then you have outstanding federal debt like back taxes or child support. You won't, these are things that won't get you approved for this loan. All right. So right here at the very bottom, it is eligibility dot SC that I'm going to drop in the chat. This is a link that you could use in which you can visit that link and it will take you to the eligibility map where you can go see whether or not maybe you're looking for a zip code. You can see whether or not you qualify for that, if you qualify in that area. Let me check that out, make sure that link it should work. Yep, it takes you to the eligibility page. All right. And so you want to put in your zip code and check that out. What can the loan pay for? All right. So this is something that surprises people. You don't have to find a move-in ready home. If someone wants to build on the land they already own, then your 502 loan program can help finance the construction on that. All right. So I was doing some research today, and a lot of people I see that want to buy the land and build on the land. that would have to be all within the same transaction, right? So you'd have to work with the construction and say, you know what, they're selling 2 acres and we're selling the construction plans to build land on this 2 acres. Then this would qualify. But if you're not trying to buy the land, but you want to buy the house, then it qualifies. You may find somewhere in those rural areas, maybe like Angleton, Alvin, Manville, even Pearland in some areas may be eligible for this 502 program. All right. So you have to purchase a home, you can buy an existing home in an eligible rural area. You could build a new home. So you can go into a brand new home with this. Repair or renovate. So if you have some fixtures or some hazards, improve the viability, livability, or update the plumbing and electrical. We do have a lot of people that qualify for this because they may need a new ramp. They're now wheelchair bound, so they may need a new ramp. Or the plumbing is bad, so they need to get that fixed. This is the opportunity for you to go after this program and get approved. Prepare the site. So the money that you use for this, that you get approved for, you could also prepare the site in which you are building on, right? So maybe water, sewage, or electric utility connections for the property. But this is a brand new build. So this loan, the 502 loan, pays for those things. It also pays for closing costs. Loan funds can help cover the upfront cost to close the deal and relocate a home. So what that means is some people may be finding a trailer home. They may find a home that is they can literally uproot that home from one location and put it into a next. I know there's a home in downtown Houston that has just been sitting on bricks really because they haven't found a place where they can move it to yet. And so a structurally sound home, moving that to an eligible site, you're absolutely able to do that. Miss Oliver, you have a question? Go ahead. You could drop it in the chat or come off mute.
Okay, I have a question. So my husband's father passed away and
Hmm.
he left the home to us,
Hmm.
but he was building the home on his own. But he ran out of money to finish completing the home. So
Hmm.
my husband is the heir to the property. So would a loan would we be able to get a loan to kind of help complete to fix the home? Or
Absolutely.
okay,
Absolutely.
okay,
This loan can pay for the repair or the renovation option of that home. And
okay,
so for this loan, it is a widely underused portion, right? So people may get approved for it, but they don't use this for what it's what it can do. It can
okay,
cover things like a bad roof, outdated electrical, or no running water. So yes, in short answer, if you guys are bringing it up to code, bringing it up to standards, you can use this loan for that. You don't have to have one that's already moving ready, so you can build on what you already have.
okay, because he didn't get to, I mean, the house is basically a shell, like with
Hmm.
um electrical, no plumbing,
Yep.
uh nothing of that sort. Okay, okay, thank you.
This would be, there are some programs in Harris County that you would probably be eligible for that house, but this one right here would be you would probably get more approved quicklier approved for this program than the ones that are in the city of Houston. But if it's in a rural community, then like I said, it kind of already qualifies. This is for repair or renovate. So if you're
Yeah.
improving the livability of it, then you are right up the alley.
Okay, this is home is in Wallace, Texas.
Okay. So yeah, that's more than likely. What's the zip code there? Do you know?
Um, Let me find something with it.
No, you don't
um,
have to find it right now. I'm just curious. But definitely take a look at that link that I dropped in the
okay,
chat. You
okay,
type that zip code whenever you get a chance, put it in there, and more than likely it would be in a rural area.
okay,
But if not, then you can actually put the whole address in that link too, and it'll tell you whether or
yep,
not that address is eligible.
okay, okay.
Good question.
Thank you.
Um, So the documents that you need, all right? So this is one of the things that whether whether you're applying for a loan, whether it's your business, whether it's your home, whether you're trying to look for additional funds, whether it's free money or grant money, a lot of people simply get turned away or delayed because their documents aren't in order. And so, what we do as an extension services, and I didn't even introduce myself at the beginning, so I should have did that. But what we do as extension agents, which is what I am, is we help you gather these documents and we check these documents to help you submit them, and we get you in a position to submit before you actually submit. So we review with you, we make sure you have everything so that that one time that you submit, you only have to submit one time. So I should have mentioned from the get-go, I am Greg Rose, extension agent for Harris County, Prairie View A&M University's extension program. And so we focus on quite a few things, but today's presentation is on home ownership. And so we'll have more programming around home ownership next month as well, since it is home ownership month. Prairie View A&M University, while we sit in Prairie View, Texas, we're not only strictly to Prairie View. We service about 70 counties with about 26 agents servicing those counties all throughout Texas. So, Miss Oliver, if depending on what county that your Wallace is in, there may be an agent in that area that could assist you with not just this program, but also with other programs as well. So definitely want to reach out to your nearest extension agent in that county. Um, Present home in the city. Miss Mary, where is your
My
only
home,
if you're go
hmm.
ahead. Go ahead.
My home is in zip code 77047. I wish I knew about this like 18 years ago.
Oh
You know?
yeah. Oh yeah. So you stay not off of 288?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so would that still apply if you live in the city or the rural area?
So I would encourage you to use the link because even though
Okay.
it's in the city, there are still pockets within the city that are rural. So for instance, 288 and I think that's Cullen. I want
No,
to say that's
288
Cullen.
West Orem.
Well, I'm saying what I'm referring to, but
Oh,
I know the area that you're in. My
mhm.
zip code was 77047, and I stayed off of Cullen. And
Okay.
so there's an area that is quite rural, but it's very small. And so West Orem may qualify for that eligibility to be in rural area. But I would encourage you put your whole address in the eligibility link to see if you qualify for that.
Yes, I
Uh,
will. I will as soon as we get off the Zoom, I will. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So you want to have your proof of income, your last 2 years of tax returns, your recent stubs, Social Security, award letters, any of that if you have it. If you don't have those outside of your proof of income, then like if it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you. But certainly your recent pay stubs, you want to have that all in what we used to call the little accordion or the football where you put everything in there, not underneath your mattress or in a box and you don't know where it's at and it's getting bit by whatever the case may be, chewed up or whatever. You want to have all these documents readily available when you're looking to apply for this loan. Identity and citizenship, of course, your government ID, Social Security, making copies of that, or your birth certificates, your financial records, the last 2 or 3 months of your bank statements. If you do online banking, you have this. You have the access to this. If you don't, you certainly can go in the bank and allow them to print out the 2 or 3 months of your bank statements. If you have any retirement or investment accounts or list of any monthly debts, like what does your car payment look like? What do your credit card look like? If you're paying student loans, what does those look like? Your housing history, your current landlord name and contact for the last 12 to 24 months, and previous addresses, right? So these are the things that you need for as far as your documents that you could easily print out, or you could all save in one big folder on your desktop and create a PDF from it. And now you have it all on a PDF file format. So if you need to send that over to us for us to verify, all we needed to do is just say, hey, I have this file. Can you look through and make sure I have everything I need? Your property information, the address of the property you want to buy, purchase agreement, if you have that, or any property inspection reports, if you have that as well. And so other things like your divorce, if you got any divorce or child custody, any bankruptcy or letters of explanation for any of the credit issues. So if you have something that's ongoing, you're fighting something and you're going back and forth with a creditor, you should have a copy of that. So being able to provide all of this the first time allows you to actually get pushed through a lot faster, right? Because once you are approved in all your stuff, it's only going to take every bit of maybe 60 days, if that. All right. So your next steps for eligibility website is what I dropped in the chat, and we'll go over it. We'll go over some websites. I'll show you guys some other breakdowns and different presentations as well. But this is just my main presentation. So the eligibility website check is completely free. It's anonymous. It doesn't pull your credit. It doesn't ask no one's gonna call you and things like that. So you're not making no commitment. You're simply checking to see if what you're looking for in the area you're looking for is eligible. One important detail in this that we left or that I didn't mention in our previous step is after your closing, USDA reviews your income every year. So if your income goes up, your payment assistance may decrease. If it goes down, your assistance increases. It's actually built in a safety net. So they say, you've done a really good job on your job, you've gotten an increase in your pay. They're monitoring that because this is a low to very low income program. It is for those that qualify. So the whole process, like I said, takes anywhere from 60 to 90 days from the application start to about the closing. All right. But it can run longer if your documentation is slow. And so that's what I've been getting and been hearing a lot of is that people will get their stuff pushed back. They will get their stuff delayed simply because they're waiting on something. So you also want to contact your local USDA Rural Development Office. And so all you have to do is literally take local USDA Rural Development Office, Google that, and they'll walk you through income limits for your county and answer questions for specific to your situation. But that's also where I'm here because we can go over that. We can schedule time and I can help you go over those things as well. And then you want to complete a pre-qualification application. So you want to submit basic information so USDA can give you a realistic picture of what you can and can't afford and what type of assistance is going to look like, right? So you want to be able to have that assistance, but you want to make sure that you're in the area because you may qualify, but then you put it in like a different area that you're looking to move, right? So let's just say you're renting right now and you really like your area, but your area is not eligible because it's not in an eligible area. So now you find an eligible area, you find a cheaper house to rent, and now you say, you know what, I want to go here. So now you can do that. You would just have to move further out. I try to tell people all the time by moving out, it doesn't hurt you if you're trying to build equity. What does your credit score need to look like? There's no particular credit score on here. I would imagine that they are looking somewhere in between 520 to 580 is what I've heard. But it doesn't mean that you have to have that. I'm not telling you, listen, do everything to mess your credit score up. But I know they typically can approve people for them having a credit score as low as a 520. All right. And so the faster you get your paperwork together, the faster your application moves. Start your folder now. So, like I stated, if you have these documents, so for instance, I bank with Chase, I bank with Bank of America, I bank with Navy Federal. All three of them give me option to look at my bank statements. I can print to PDF my bank statements, put that in a folder on my desktop, and then that's one part of my documents. I get the other documents going. I get my paycheck stubs. I take them off a work day. I drop them in there, and so now I have my paycheck stubs. If I have any loans that I've been paying or any credit card bills, I can do my credit card statement. I drop that in there. The pre-qualification is on the same link provided. Yes. So in that link, that link is just the eligibility, but I can get you to the pre-qualification application. It's on their website, but it's not on that link. That link is specifically for the eligibility to check and see. Let me see USDA. Pre-qualification. So you want to make sure this is just the eligibility location to see where the location is, but not necessarily if you qualify or not. Um, USDA will verify your income, but outside of that, they'll determine your exact loan, see how much you qualify for. Copy this link. I'm going to drop this. So to start your pre-qualification application, this is the USDA Rural Development Self-Service Portal where you guys can submit a pre-qualification directly online. And I'm dropping that in the chat now. And that's for the pre-qualification. I already dropped the map in there. But then the local Texas Rural Development Office, where you can reach out to individuals or your representation, I'm going to drop that link in here as well. All right. So you guys are having the links to where all you have to do is get things in order before you start submitting. But the pre-qualification, you don't necessarily have to have your documents in order, but you do want to complete the pre-qualification application first. Once you complete that and they give you a picture of what you can afford, then you start gathering your documents away. I mean, getting those things together, right? And then also, you could just be curious, right? A lot of people get on Zillow all the time and look at homes. Well, get on Zillow and check your eligibility. Say, okay, I like this house where it's at. Let me check the eligibility, see if this home on Zillow qualifies. If it doesn't, then you need to find a different location. All right. After approving and closing, your homeowner, USDA will check your income annually to adjust your payment assistance for that year. All right. So I'll have this back up on the screen, but this is my information. Let me exit out of this. All right. So I'm going to drop in a survey for you guys to take. Not finished, but I'd like for you guys to take this survey before you before you drop off. But on here, let's see. I wanted to give you a more bit of a breakdown of some of the things available. So these programs, there's two different types of programs to purchase your home, the direct loan and the guaranteed loan, loans or grants to repair. So you have so many different programs. I know, Ms. Oliver, you mentioned about the repair of that home. So that is within this section 502 direct loan, but it's also here. And then you also have these right here. So there's a grant out there for you to repair your home as well. These are often underutilized simply because people don't know about them. All right. So again, this is the home program run by the USDA department. It's to help you all. I mentioned this. So the two loan types, the direct one is for single family direct loan program managed by the USDA and has a payment assistance. Let me go back. The guarantee loan made by approved lenders, no down payment, but 3.5 fee with no mortgage insurance required. So sometimes you have to get the PMI in order to be qualified. It's a certain amount. And with this one, you don't have to have that. So again, it's a lot of information, but these are programs that most individuals that come from low or very low income households would qualify for. All right. The 502 Direct, it's authorized in this act, known for the single family housing direct loan. And again, it provides low and very low income. The term's 33 years. Manufactured homes have a maximum of 30-year. These are some of the eligibility requirements. It says flexible credit options and lower mortgage insurance costs to reduce your barriers. Those are typically reasons why people can't get into those homes because of those barriers, like lower mortgage insurance or your PMI. Income limits based on the area median income. So that's why it's important to know where you're staying at and if it's eligible or not, because that's going to determine whether or not you get approved. And you have to be able to stay in that home. You can't just go buy a home and put someone else in there. You yourself have to be staying into that home. All right. Like you stated, you're looking to rehabilitate your house or build your house. These are the perks for that USD 502 program. You get those keys, and at the end of the day, single family housing or single family guaranteeing housing, uh, it's just a small difference. 30 years versus 33 years. They're serviced through the USDA, whereas this one's serviced through USDA lenders. Um, Let me see what else we got here. This is things that I already went over. Serves the entire state of Texas. So we're talking about Wallace, Texas. It's all throughout. So there may be a rural office that's in that area. And it's research-based and non-biased information. Even though there have been some negative things come out through USDA programming, like discriminatory acts, there's still programs and there's still agents in certain counties that want to make sure that you get approved for this loan. I focused in rural areas. So if Wallace is a rural area, or even like I stay in Pearland, and Pearland, while the front part of Pearland is not rural, the very back part of Pearland is definitely rural, right? But it's small pockets. It's land for sale that could be qualifying for that. And that you can be qualified to be staying in Pearland. It's just in a different area. I stay in older Pearland, so it's a little less rural than the first part of Pearland. Limited resources and grassroots businesses. This helps them. All right. And their staff are statewide. So in different counties, you will have a different representative helping you and assisting you with the USDA program. So it doesn't give us a time of how long that you have to stay in the house. I believe it is typically 5 years before you start renting it out, before you start to move, but you are still responsible for making that mortgage or making that payment. Let me ask something for Ryan. Anybody got any questions? You guys asked some great questions currently right now.
I do have one question. I guess the question I had earlier. So, if I still have a balance in my home now, would I be able to apply for the USDA loan?
Hmm, that's a good question. It states in the on their website that you can't have anything carrying over, right? So
Okay.
let me back up and see. Because what would need to happen is they would have to take a look at that and say, you qualify, but we're not going to give you the full amount. You're going to get what you would qualify for based upon what it is that you're trying to do. Um, so to your question, Miss Monroe, um, there's no fixed time frame in which you can stay into the house, but you that house must remain your primary residence for the life of the loan. So now you can get a second home, right? But this has to be your primary home. One, doesn't mean that you have to stay in there. You could put someone else in there as long as they're covering that rent, and that's something that you could, work out. Um, they won't buy you out of your apartment. They Yeah, they won't buy you out of your apartment. But if you get approved before you move out of your apartment, you get approved and they give you the money. That's money that can help you go towards, because typically you have closing costs and things like that. So that money that you get back potentially could help you get out of your lease. But the thing that people need to know, um, if you sell the home or move out within the first 9 years, they may require you to pay back a portion of that assistance. So it's called a subsidy recapture. Basically, you sold the house, you got money from the house. They know that you got money from the house. That house started growing equity. That money, the area started growing, and they realized that, you made some money from that house. They're going to ask you to pay some of that money back. So you don't want to start off saying, I'm gonna get into this house just to get out of this house. But it's not your forever home. So just know that if you can get that paid down or if you could put someone else in the house, maybe a relative, and they pay you, and then you work on another, adventure, then that's something that you could potentially do. Let me exit out of this one. Go back to here. All right, so you asked a no 15 or 20-year fix. So for these 502, the 502 is not even 15. It's longer than 15. It is 33. It's about 30 to 33 fixed rate. I'm not for sure who offers a 15 or a 20-year fixed rate interest rate. That typically now it's been increasing. It was 30, now it's like 33. And then some places, especially low, very, very low income, is like 38, only because they want to lower your monthly payment. It's flexible, it's not just for buying. Let me see. Miss Mary, you had something. Oh, it's like we were rehabbing the home. So if you are rehabbing the home, um, you still have to pay back the loan. You get approved for the loan to do the rehab, right? So right here, it says repair, renovate. So you still have to you're improving it to be livable, but you still have to be in that home, right? So it has to be your primary. So it's stipulations, right? So if you are trying to rehab a home that is unlivable, I don't, I'm not sure if you have to stay in that house because it's not livable yet. So that goes back to like right here, building a new home, right? Construct a modest new home on eligible land. So if you get approved for it, it's all about the approval. Once you get approved for it, you just got to prove that you're doing what you said you was going to do. If that's repairing it, you got to prove that you're repairing it. If you're building it, you got to prove that you're building it. So they're checking for those things. Good answers though. So the annual income is separate. Let me see. Yep. So you guys have the links, right? You have the USDA link to where you can find where your office, who's in that office in your area. You have the pre-qualification link that I dropped in the chat that allows you to go in there and see what you would qualify for. Do you have to be in the same profession for 2 years? No, you don't have to be in the same profession, but you do have to show that you can afford to pay the loan back, right? You could switch jobs. Your job could be, some people get laid off, right? So you get a job paying you $60,000, then you get you get let go and you get reduced your pay, maybe getting unemployment or you may be getting a different job that's not paying as much. And so they will monitor that as you've gotten approved for this loan. When they monitor that and they see you're getting less than when you approved, they can assist you by giving you more. I can send out the this presentation, yes. And I will be able to send out a sheet that shows you guys the links that you guys can link on. That you can use. What I will do, let me see if I can pull it up. I did have a link sheet. Yeah, where's it at? Is my link sheet? Okay. No, it's not a link sheet. I'm going to drop the link sheet in the chat and I can also email this to you as well. But today was specifically for USDA programming. Oh, I may not be able to show that one. This link that I'm going to send out to you guys may very well give you different stuff. Let me see. I'll pull this up. So this USDA program, city single family direct home loans, this is that 502, and then it's the USDA map. If you stay in City of Houston has other programs these down payment assistance programs as well. This is a 50,000 down payment assistance. This is Harvey Home Buyer Assistance Program. if you qualify in within city of Houston. And this is also Harris County programs. But the USDA programs, these are the two links right here. This is also in some other state of Texas programs. They have the T-Shack First Time Home Buyer Program, the TD HCA Home Buyer Program, and then this Mortgage Reports. This is just an overview of those. I did this back in June. But back in February. But this is for Harris County. Today's session is specifically for USDA. However, these links are for just USDA. City of Houston programming that's available. So again, this is my information. You can visit not only just Prairie View's website, but if you have questions, this is my cell phone number as well as my email address right here that I can drop in the chat for you guys. I have everyone that registered for this session today. So what I can do is send you this presentation along with the links, my home ownership links, because this is a PDF that I can send this, and you can actually click on each of these, and it'll take you to the different programs that are out there. All right, and so this is the overview, what this program is, how to apply, all that good stuff. And so these are the different links. They have videos on there to show you how in English and in Spanish. But this is what I was talking about, the office contact information, depending on where you're at. Down here, you got the pre-qualification and application process. So this is a very good program that people can use. I will send the email with the survey as well. But this USDA program has the ability to really put people into a home for the first time and be able to benefit as a home buyer. The moment that you get into a home, more specifically in Texas, regardless of if the rates are good or bad, this is the immediate, quickest way to start building generational wealth, right? You're in a home, you stay in that home, you build at that home, you surround that home with things that you can help grow. We're not even talking about agriculture. We're not even talking about things that you can use in your front yard, in your backyard to get tax exemptions, like owning, not even having a farm, but putting things on there to grow, right? Growing something in your backyard can constitute you as having and owning a farm, which means you could qualify for other things. You could grow some tomatoes, right? Some hydroponics in your home, right? Now you've turned your homestead into a farm. You could put a rooster out there. You could put a chicken out there, have that chicken on. Now that you have agriculture and livestock and such on your home, right? So these are things that not being taught on a regular basis, but we want to continue to educate you on these things. And so please, like I said, here is my contact information. If you guys feel like you have questions, feel like there's something that I didn't cover that you needed to reach out to, feel free to reach out to me. Again, I will send an email with the presentation along with those links so that you guys can have them. But yeah, anybody have any questions? If you didn't get a chance to fill out the survey, I will drop it in the chat so you guys can fill out the survey again. I appreciate you guys hopping on. Be on the lookout. Our next session or our next Roundhouse Roundtable discussion, I am hoping to have on June 4th, which will be on a Thursday. And it'll be June 4th or June 11th. But I know for sure by next week, I will send out a calendar of events that'll be happening all of June. Still locking in some dates, but for the most part, June is all of home ownership month. So be on the lookout for those different programs. Again, thank you guys for joining. That does conclude our program. Did you say we can also combine with a 2DT time? What is that, Miss Watson? Oh, first time home buyer program. Yes. Yes. So most of the programs that you see are able to be stackable. And what that means is you get approved for my first time down payment assistance program that just says with the city of Houston. You get approved for that. and you meet all the qualifications, and they say, "Yep, we're able to give you $50,000 towards your first down for a down payment assistance, closing fees, all that other stuff. If you find the home, then you use that and you get approved for a USDA loan with no money down. Now that first time home buyer assistance money helps you build more than what you get approved for. So let's say you get approved for $200,000 for USDA to get moved into a rural community. You take that, now you utilize a down payment assistance program and they give you $12,000. You add that to your closing costs, which you may not have. You get approved for the USDA and you get approved for the down payment assistance. Take that 12,000, you use that to say, you know what? I want a specific type of driveway because what I got approved for, it doesn't add to that driveway. So you use that down payment assistance to increase on what you are building on, or you use that to pay for some of those fees. Some of those fees can include a percentage, right? So you may not get zero down. You may get 2 or 3% of a $250,000 home, which means of, let's see, is two. I'm not good at math. Let me pull up my handy dandy calculator. You get approved for $250,000 at 0.2%. That's $5,000 that you have to pay. And now you get approved for $12,000 for down payment assistance. Now your $5,000 on the $250,000 home is covered because you got approved for your first time home buyer down payment assistance. Hopefully that answers your question. I know I took the long route, but hopefully that answered your question. All right. Okay, good deal. Anybody else? Great questions, by the way. You guys are definitely getting the knowledge. We're continuing to have programs because if this is your first, if this is your fifth, if this is your 10th program, keep coming. The more you come, the more you have knowledge about what it is that you're trying to do. But we don't want to just give you the information. We want you to start the process. We want you to get those first steps out the way, which means you have to start developing. Okay, I'm going to go to my computer tonight. I'm going to open up a folder that says home ownership documents, and I'm gonna start dropping everything in there that my tax returns. I'm gonna drop those in there. I'm gonna drop my bank statements. I'm gonna drop those in there. You have to start preparing yourself for when you get approved, not if you get approved, but when you get approved. All right, gonna speak that into existence. We're gonna get you guys pre-qualified if that's something that you're looking to do. Once you become pre-qualified, then we start looking to see, okay, where you gonna stay at now? Now you got a whole property that you about to be responsible for. So it's been great. You guys, if you don't have any other questions, I'll stop recording now.